Say document upon document. You're releasing the sayo. Eddie, I'm a Christian Health Association of Ghana. Ewo. Paragraph 267. As part of government effort to curb the spread of COVID-19 pandemic on Ghanaians, funds were allocated to ministries, department agencies through Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Health for training, public awareness, and purchase of personal protective equipment, PPE, among other things. The Christian Health Association of Ghana received 5 million Ghana cedis from the Ministry of Finance to equip CHAG, a Christian Health Association of Ghana, health providers and community volunteers for publicity. We know yes, publicity. What kind document be a prepare ma by no who the kind fessa and no pay this can ye that kind no more. Risk communication. What is risk communication? Producer Monamco University. Publicity the risk communication here then to publicize bibia I na risk in can ho. And then contact tracing.
When
Kosro kakra come mo that's procurement and distribution of PPEs, training, design and dissemination of information, education and communication. What's rolling and one yes I can't. Publicity is education. Communication is communication. And standard operating procedure. Here, bro, the association also received another 1,420,814 from the Ministry of Health, making it a total of 6,420,814 Ghana cedis in 2020 for COVID-19 related expenditure. Total expenditure incurred in 2020 amounted to 5,564,835.63 Ghana cedis, representing 86% of the funds received with training and workshops on COVID-19 cases management. Blah 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 blah. Similarly, 1,654,600 was spent on acquisition of 2 PCR machines for Nilex Company Limited, representing 26%. Hospital bed the fund balance at the end of 2020 stood at 855,978, which was carried forward to 2021. In 2021, Ministry of Health transferred additional funds of 455,587, which increased the opening funds balance of the 1 million. Now, the total expenditure, blah 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 blah. The closing fund balance at the end of 2021 was 532,000. A reducible from a reducible. The cost South Christian Health Association of Ghana for the Omohoson Omode Bibia Auditor General say Omusika ne kura na aban se ode akoma omo no esan se omoye Christopher omodwi nipa hunti omso musika ne kwanye ni na omode obon sakan ye de kai no so Ministry of Health ebeje koi ti control Ministry of Transport say ye do ministries ni mu no na ehunu unaccounted COVID-19 funds 18,000 Ghana cedis per 180 million. By way a trianapco for Makumako 18 maybe by a fadi. Regulation 78 of the Public Financial Management Regulation 2019 require principal spending officer of a covered entity to be personally responsible for ensuring, in respect of each payment of that covered entity, the validity, accuracy, and legality of the claim for the payment. Our review of the 2019 records show that on 4th April 2020, the Ministry of Finance released an amount of 200,000 Ghana cedis through the Ministry of Transport to Greater Accra Passenger Transport Executives. One year from from Ayalolo to support its operation. Ayalolo for Mokwaji 2 billion. Producer Kwasro, paragraph 278. We noted that even though 200,000 was released in cash, how can you release 200,000 Ghana cedis in cash? Abaisi kasadi etuano. It's a lot for money account. Sikano, yetuano cash. This opening Daniel SL, a budget officer of the Ministry of Transport. Only only 181,500 was received by Ayololo, leaving an outstanding. Adewe Chrono Kase. Yamani Sikaso and Fankoma Ayololo for. Opening free Ministry of Transport. Any Ayololo for office of a taxi 18,000 Ghana cedis. Uber now offer. Uber now fire. Uber now fire. Trotro no trim. Taxi now or chata no. Or renting Land Cruiser from Ministry of Transport to Ayololo for office watch motor. Or do one in Mexicano 18,500 Ghana cedis at Jeffries. Yamen Faboninche. Bibini, oh. Bibini and the power. Yay. Me say COVID-19 chrono course so chrome document where enough. That is why the Auditor General say they should withdraw the document. Auditor General say we recommended that the Chief Director should ensure that the amount of 18,500 be refunded by Daniel Esel into the Auditor General's recoveries account. Management indicated that Daniel Esel has paid. Producer Utie. Management indicated that Daniel Esel has paid into the Auditor General's recovery account. It's your Tisicani Yeding. Yamen Faboninche. Where any chrono? Otisicani Ginini and that's what Tijinesi.
Ajeta.
Aya so we are there near the court that dem kwa give you some and chance one commit a crime. Eti sikana aban say yen fanko enko boana emobrofo wonye sika mfanfa ka anko djuma no wonye bi mfanfa ayolo no abrantie we 18,500. Auditor General say management say we trace as ka na chese krono no de wabo. Eti ayen from Ministry of Transport, Basic Achimota, Yafaka 18,500. I'm gonna scour. Management is here to provide the evidence. Oh, wait. I just wanted to whet your appetite about to but management is evidence be a mass Daniel Esel. Sad Daniel Esel, Korea, Baka, Yapan, and phone, but 2 TV so. Budget office or Ministry of Transport, your friend Daniel Esel. Why will you know friend Nebus and say the dear Auditor General's report to met me a friend of Cromfo because what tia cotia joy a Cromfo says he can't genuinely a legal sort here. Cote Cotia, I didn't work with you. What would you pay no more Bravo Krumha? Over Quacobi or send a party about power. A few ministries, ever see Quachimota, so lawyer fat 18,500 Ghana cedis, 185 million. Yeah, come so Captain Smart, I know, yeah, Namin, ya would say, Omojare. Sa content to way, NSS NMC, no Chema Media Houses, organ, Nasamonka. When I say NMC here. Yamen Faboninche. From Mafe.
Captain Smart.
Unutilized funds 500,000. Section 7 of the Public Financial Management Act 2016 requires that where a principal spending officer receives a subvention on behalf of another entity, the principal spending officer shall remit the subvention to that other entity by the approved cash flow plan for the subvention. Custom paragraph 8283. Our review of the bank statement of the Ministry of Transport indicated that the ministry received an amount of 1,800,000 from the Ministry of Finance on 14th April 2020 to support the operation of Metro Mass Ebium
the whole world
Limited and the Greater Accra Passenger Transport Ebium.
The whole world.
Apart from 200,000 Ghana cedis, Ayololo Yasama Muska to meet the expenses at the peak of the COVID-19. And then I call, lockdown that time. Yay! Lockdown Ayololo Yajma. How many far away? Greater Accra nurses and doctors in Kwa Ayololo Fabio 1.8 million. 180 billion. Hey, la ilaha illallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Someone, Edum, Anaso.
When
La ilaha illallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Going.
Anshadu wallah.
Going.
Wazibilai.
Going.
Hey! Alayakao.
Ajeta.
Boy! Lockdown! Hey, Ghana! Me do nyami way, eh? You go explain tire. Lockdown, 180 billion. The producer for document and all.
What am I going to do?
What am I going to do there? What am I going to do?
What am I going to do?
Eh?
Look at my face.
To meet the expenses at the peak of COVID-19, out of this amount,
Look at my face.
1,300,000 was allocated to Metro Mass. Hey,
What am I going to do?
Ebium. And then another 500,000 for Ayololo. Hey, Ayololo for 700,000, close to 1 million.
Like
we noted that even though the ministry transferred an amount of 1.3 million to Metro Mass, the remaining 500,000 was not released to Ayololo. Ayololo for Mutingwa.
I'm telling you.
Sikana yase mwajeno. Say the ministry need.
I'm telling you.
The money was not transferred. Further inquiry revealed that pursuit number E3/08/05 of 2023 of 23 April 2021, the bank account of the Ministry of Transport, which received the funds, had been garnished by the Kumasi High Court of Justice, Ashanti region, in favor of China Jilin International Economic and Technical Corporation. Ministry of Transport for account boss no. COVID-19 abana yebre no na China for tinya je home ministry o account in aboso. Kwanko yiska.
Going.
O say Jimmy.
I'm telling you.
Yare aba no. Yetimi tra ho hwanya me anima.
Going.
Hey! The chief director stated that management of Ayololo did not submit the required returns to enable her to release the funds at the time. Meanwhile, what we have to come obi 200,000. All the free ministries, Equatimota, now 18,500 the free so, and then they will release it here.
What am I going to do? I'm telling you.
Hey, nyami betuya yenka
will judge you.
Ministry of Education. That's not one I want to
Judge you.
Onua.
Yehu.
Ajeta.
Kosrai. Document we and they back kind baby. Me da say. Refund of surplus. Scan the car, you know. Surplus.
Before people will come
Be
here.
catchy. Say Ghana Ministry and department and agency to be this come be cannot cast a surplus. Oh jai. Na say oria enye fe.
What am I going to do?
Update number 10 of the president on 15 June 2020 indicated that all final year junior high school, senior high school and university students are to resume classes ahead of the conduct of their respective exit exams. Prior to the opening of schools and universities, the Ministry of Education and the heads of public and private educational institutions will fumigate and disinfect their institutions. Each student, teacher, and non-teaching staff will be provided with reusable face masks by the Ministry of Education. Me school. It was not true.
Hey yo, Misuana.
Say me anybody and come friend crofo ebusa omba me made ya mom hwe wo school. Me an na mtoma omo.
Wani.
Enti monte me man di mfrim.
Fellow guy.
Madi me man nose mask sika. Any face mask sika. We noted that the Ministry of Finance released the total amount of 340,990,000
Before people will come here.
Yeah, they
I have killed a lot of people.
year in 2020. Afetibium 7 million. You yaji 340. That is 3.4 trillion. You know what on Ghana sikani yabu bonus and also for what me 21 trillion.
Onua.
Where trillion na shows ano. Cause Ghana sikano first nanka zero see. Sa tre besa be ka ho. And ya knock tre na free ho. And J. Kufwadi Bansokachen said the value is the same. It were 3.49 trillion. And 7,753,918 in 2021. To the free senior high school disbursement account at the Bank of Ghana to enable the Ministry of Education facilitate the reopening of schools for the final year student. Final year for Onua. Wabra school ni na free senior high school.
Onua.
Form 1, Form 2, Form 3 na.
Onua.
Yeah, the 1 billion. And a bohuka afe. I am on my figures. I'm on your margin. Say you feed that. For the final year student to sit for their exit exams and pave way for the general reopening of all the schools from nursery to university. The table below provides the detailed releases of funds to the ministry. But some bisa abai say, baby, I'm not a medical school. Abai discuss any call. Or a private school. Or GH boy, I'm in shop. You have my lunch. In this case, na na some honor sad. Kosoro. Ya come be a chrono no one. We also noted that the Ministry of Education in implementing the presidential directive disbursed the funds to 4 ministries, departments and agencies for the procurement of COVID-19 PPEs, sensitization and media campaign. Media campaign there. Media houses are working here. Why not buying Ministry of Education go to and Kasa baby school date way? Statement no issue here. Ne can't free. Meboa. They only issued a statement. And yeah, now picking and you can't free. That time them were Angel. Angel, I was the director of operations for Angel. You had the 4 months pay BT money shows. I was the director of operations. Our Angel group, I was the director of operations. Skepia Maya from Ministry of Education. As the director of operations of Angel Group, Angel, ABN, Angel Broadcasting, Deben, Skebia Mao, monitoring and evaluation as well as general fumigation of and Tronkwa, Kosoro. COVID-19 that time na yet to fundraising. Amba say aban say Ghana for me to scam yen fan hwen crofo no. Wo so bre yen sika say yen fan yen campaign ma.
They are sick people. Okwa akachira say wo ba ye.
Ada na yete sa.
Onua.
Ada.
Ye dwene mu wo. Onua Maakye o.
Pa cho kosoro.
2020 for Nana.
Bra phone na me ye. Chrono penny. Payment for production of face masks and supply of infectious prevention and control for nationwide school reopening. 46 million.
2020.
Payment for production of face masks, supply of the same thing, 80 million. Hey, Charlie. Debut, at the end of the 50 pesos. Sana Health Minister Kachre. It is a 50 pesos, now you're 46,000. Let's say you're makum 460 million. Nagana for your do say. Your man go school, you say. Huh? What say? We are the same thing, 80 million. Just say, I don't know, we are makum 800 million. Nkolana ko school no mdo do say. The 460 million plus 800 million. Okabo we say. Yeah, nose marks and over 1.7 billion. Emma nkwada say the Kobe school one day. HSA. Krono no mo ba ho. Aya uma nyansa kakra mrem. Ma Jimmy dodo.
Ajeta.
Say ne abokro no.
Ahumesa.
Producer kwaso me pese ma keka wan hwansa ma meka no.
Gwen. Ojai.
Ko. But I don't want to talk about this. I just don't want to talk about these things. We further noted that an amount of blah 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 remained unutilized. We recommend that management should refund the utilized blah 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 blah. The ministry responded that a missing payment voucher with a face value Charlie. Tell you, Ghana for Munti Hayi. Auditor General Sisikana ya de koma omo 7 million na de chire na. Eti mo fa sika ne nkoto Auditor General's account ni ensan fa koma ban no fa yem puntu djuma no. E ho na Ministry of Education be cho mo say, "Hey, try missing payment voucher." Payment voucher be na yira. With a face value of 29,977,702 for the general fumigation and disinfection of all senior high schools and special schools across the country, which was inadvertently omitted from the expenditure stated, has been found for the review of the auditors. Can you imagine? 7 million aka fakwatu account to pay si boy.
Onua.
Yakwa fumigate schools. Aka 29 million. That's 7 million aka no. Afe de be chedi. Yeah, 7 million di we are aban sanfa 22 million san meka ho anya Canada ho no enso. Kosoro audit position. We have examined the omitted payment voucher with a face value of 20 and concluded that although the amount was used in the fumigation of senior high school and special schools, the contract was not to be financed by the COVID-19 funds. Afegana for much I say. Or say, ane nkrata wo mo de be cho mo chesa mpa wo mo na ese wo maye na mom sa ade na mo ye no sika ese so mo di tua no enye COVID-19 funds ni bia COVID-19 funds ni bia na mom get fund ese so tua saka no eti get fund sika ko COVID-19 sika ko eti ni mienu na ye ka bom ho na fa ye Moya de say ne ka mo se ya no ye be ye mo da wa wuntimi tu kwatra to bu producer kwasoro
sick people.
However, get fund paid only 12 million, leaving an outstanding blah 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 blah, which was paid through the normal blah 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 blah. It was paid though, which was paid. It's most akwaje no so fi COVID-19 funds mo de kwa dey. Ghana Education Service refund of surplus. And also surplus and Ghana Education Service there. You know, Ghana Education Service received a total of 124,367,200. With the Kokangan a Ministry of Education, Womusika be rebound Moji na ho we so san beka ho. Womuso womo de koye the same fumigation. How can this be possible? Ministry of Education so fumigating schools then mo wie. Ghana Education Service so you trace come on so the koye fumigation. That time na Professor Mankwa den ho. Anamwa. It was Professor Mankwa. Me anu ofa.
Captain Smart.
Ofa. The okay one no catch that yen kan.
Ajeta.
Because ministry this we fumigate here. Me asa kwaji 124 million Ghana cedis. Yes and the koye another fumigation. How? For the way.
Ow. Ow.
After we noted that Ghana Education Service contracted Zoom Lion. One Zoom Zoom Lion for the cleaning and fumigation of all schools, both public and private, at a total cost of 100,099,000. Private schools do not say the work room has Zoom Lion come fumigate you. Or me presa me elder. School am Mako. Yen you to escape the fumigate here. Private schools are one Ghana na. Zoom Lion fumigate here. I try 100 million. Ewa he.
When
go mo the private schools are
Ojaye.
Ye fumigate here.
Ojaye.
Go mo takwa private schools are ye fumigate here. Man kasim.
Ojaye.
Private schools are in Otepro. Private schools are in fumigate here. Pinanko.
Ojaye.
Yes, here 300 million Ghana cedis. Ha, 100 million. Why you Mexicano times 2?
Bibini.
Actually, poor edu.
Bibini and
said the fumigate schools man.
Bibini. Ow. The Bibini grab it.
It's Ghana Education Service seek 124 million Ghana cedis. Ministry of Education over 200 million Ghana cedis. He na the fumigation. Hey.
Na skanu wa e.
Adanya me beba no ho. Ye be hu say asem ho. Our review showed that The company undertook the fumigation and cleaning exercise in the schools across the country, for which we verified certification of work done from selected schools across the country. Selected schools. Must say all. Brafom. Brafom. See. Brafom. We noted that Ghana Education Service contractor blah 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 limited for the cleaning and fumigation of all schools. All. Producer, for what you blue bin toso. All schools. When Ghana has schools say what from now. There be braha fumigation highlighted of all schools into bracket both private, public and private. Highlighted.
What am I going to do?
Ebushafo. Schools say what Ghana has now. Zoom lion. Fumigating now.
I'm telling you.
Really?
I'm telling you.
This is a lie.
I'm telling you.
This is a lie.
I'm telling you. Before.
Hey, who we say me ama sor panikura elder just for one.
When
the title switch elder bia o Pentecost. O we catch us say it's a lie.
Before people.
Onua kura be to ejira Pentecost. Pulpit so catch us say entro. Say school say what Ghana ha yina no. Zoom lion fumigating schools say what ha yina both private and public. Really?
I'm telling you.
I am didn't try. What
am I going to do?
Where a course how? Hey, now buying crowd in schools to do a buying war. Say all schools, TDO, Auditor General wrote this.
Onua.
Zoom Lion, one company, few producer. All schools into bracket, both public and private.
Onua Maakye ye tie Captain Smart. Oja.
Ghana has schools say waha ebro 100,000. Me na me catch you. Greater Accra schools say waha ebro 4,000, 5,000.
Onua.
Schools say what Greater Accra Hankra. What do I say?
Onua Maakye.
Eti yekọ atobiase a. Zoom Lion ko fumigation.
What am I going to do?
Seshibodi, Zoom Lion ko ho. Bomo atachimai, DC, I want to call prime minister teacher friend Crochia.
When
Ye ko fumigation. Bomo da bisu apia krom da bisu konya. Yes, schools say what Ghana ha private schools, any aban school yina. Ye can school and university can ho, teacher training, lesson training, warning yina. Zoom Lion ko fumigation. Elder kura beka cho say captain we die enye no kure. Elder da abeka. Eti adentina ya na mo yesa.
Sick people.
Ye kasa mo adwen nya dwuma. Wo say ya no ya.
They are sick people.
Auditor General said that or person are charitable. Or say our review showed that the company undertook the fumigation and cleaning exercises in the schools across the country. Also went to be and all the schools in the country.
When
he was being very Auditor General was being careful.
Oh, I don't know.
Not to also use the word all. Because Auditor General in him said, Dabi beba ye mubi be ye beba bem. Ni abe frene busan say all no ye in my list. And Auditor General you're very smart. Or say exercise in the schools across the country. When? So okay, in the schools across the country, we need 10 from the regions schools across the country. But you can't repeat the word all. Which we verify certification of work done from selected, not all. Selected, not all. Schools across the country. Further, we noted that the Ghana Education Service procured personal protective equipment, toiletries, Veronica buckets, and sanitizers amounting 20 million Ghana cedis out of the remaining amount of 23 million for use in all directorates of the Ghana Education Service across the country. The Ghana Education Service, how many districts in here? Patro district, you know. I think we the answer 300. Ghana Education Service district Ukogomua district back your Metro Director of Education baby MC one district director so you cannot have more than the total number of districts in this country, Ghana Education Service directors now. It is a somewhere 300 cry. You say directorate no office rocket one. Yes, it's 20 million Ghana cedis. Near the top Veronica buckets the call. Adain. Ghana for Adain. Police out there, Kosoro. Let me hear me closing remarks over Teminka. The financial controller explained that 3,370,750 was disbursed to all special schools across the country to prevent the schools from imminent closure due to lack of funds. Eti Mampong School for the Blind who said therefore said they mofa 3 million mbebu nwa contaminate.
Wani.
Ebisu wojolu mbebu 3 million nwa contaminate. Nyame kasoro kosoro. Yeah, the Ministry of Education. Police are called. Ministry of Information. Ahana asem no wono. Yeah, fancy ya mwa. As a time call. Yeah, fancy ya. Ntechna. You better Ministry of Information so.